Hello everyone, and welcome to a bit of a news update for Imperator Rome. Now, when the 1.5 patch came out, Menander, it was a wee bit buggy, let's be fair, just as much. The 1.5.1 patch came out, and it fixed one of the crashing bugs on the province interface, which is nice, because that one was a little irritating, not gonna lie. And now we have another update here as well. There was no dev diary this Monday because instead of having a dev diary, they were just working on, fixing the various issues that the game has had since the 1.5 release. But now we've got this post here. This is the 20th of August right now, so we got this post. Hi all, Jamor here. Happy to inform you that as part of our continuing post-launch support for Menander, we're releasing patch 1.5.2 right now. Contains a ton of bug fixes and balance tweaks. We hope you enjoy it. I wasn't expecting this until Monday, so it's good that we're getting it early so that your games will be a little bit more polished and tweaked and better, I would say. So let's have a look at the changelog. There's actually a fair amount in it. So yeah, cool, good stuff. So first off, we've got Pops and Culture. This is a balance change. Happiness penalty per integrated culture reduced from 5% to 4%, which sounds kind of minimal. Very, very small. But it also means that if you're, becoming a larger empire, that's like one extra culture integration. Like you can, if you, instead of having 4, you can have 5 for the same happiness penalty. Which, I don't know, maybe it'll make a difference in the long run. It seems like a small change, but at the same time, people thinking that 5%, and remember, 5 is a pretty small number, being too much, I think we're lowering it by like 20% of it, right? 4 is like 80% of 5. Maths probably shouldn't do this on camera, let's be fair. But anyway, yeah, it feels like a small change, but maybe it's going to make a big impact, who knows. Especially when you add in the next line here, 4% happiness for integrated culture per nation rank, starting at local power. So effectively you get 1 extra integrated culture per nation rank, which is fairly decent. Local power, I believe, is 25 cities, I believe. Or maybe that's regional power. No, that is regional power, isn't it? Local power is anything over... Is that anything over a city-state? Let's open the game and find out, because I've literally got it open right here. Let's just open a new game so I don't spoil my Epirus campaign, which is still ongoing. Because I recorded quite a bit of Epirus all at once, so up until about like episode 12, you're not going to see any of these new changes. Let's load in as a Macedon. We'll have a look at what we've got here. I always load in as Macedon. It's just the easiest one to go with. So Macedon is right now, local is 2 to 24, and then regional is 25 to 29. So starting from like the second you get a second city, you gain basically an extra integrated culture happiness, and Macedon starts at plus 8%, which is fairly decent. That's not bad. That's not bad. Alright, so going back to the patch notes. Characters have changed a little bit. Added monthly stability change to various traits. Status trait mostly, and the Argiad trait. How much, I do not know. Let's have a look. We can check the Argiad trait fairly easily, because our sons start with it. No, they don't. My wife does, right? There you go. Yes, okay, so the Argiad trait, monthly stability plus 0.05%. That's not terrible. It's not terrible for sure. Victorious actually gives plus 0.08, so apparently Victorious is worth more than Blood of the Argiads when it comes to stability. Okay, if you say so. Anything else here giving you that kind of thing? There's probably more that I'm just not finding. Oh, I mean, there's definitely more. Just gonna have to keep an eye out for those kind of things. And ambitious doesn't help with it, but ambitious is a bloody good thing anyway. It's a very, very good trait. How about Lysimachus? Do you have anything? Nope. How about Blood and Lysimachus? Nope. That's probably one of the worst effects. Although, having said that, Diplomatic Reputation also increases stability Aggressive expansion decay as well. That comes from diplomatic reputation, but we'll get back into the patch notes and we'll have a look at that. So, loyalty penalty from deceitful trade reduced from 15% to 10%. Penalty to loyalty from being in a scorned family is reduced by 20%, so I think that's going to 20%, right? Because it was 40, if I was not mistaken. We can check this by showing families. If we take a job off the periods, what are you? You're the Hierophant. Okay, so we'll just swap a guy out of the Hierophant. There you go. Now you are disloyal. The Pythiads. Have we got any more Pythiads here? No. But the Pythiads, I've got loyalty. It's down to 8 for being a scorned family. So that's down by 20%. 20%. Okay, so 20%. It was 10, now it's 8. Okay. This makes it sound like it's actually a fairly decent amount, but it's literally just -2. Sure, then. Loyalty from power base of supporters toned down by 25%. It was huge. Okay. And then succession crises no longer raise gargantuan giga armies. All this really good. I've seen quite a few people complaining about loyalty in civil wars being a little bit more difficult to manage. I like that it's a little bit more difficult to manage, but at the same time, I think there's definitely a balance that needs to be struck there. So yeah, your countries are going to be a little bit more stable, and hopefully as well the AI countries are going to be a bit more stable, because right now they're not. Anyway, internal stability, even more stability, yay. Stability decay from aggressive expansion reduced by 25%, another thing people were complaining about. Senate support malice for neither consul belonging to a faction reduced by 50%. I've yet to play as a republic in 1.5, so I can't really comment on this yet. AE decay from tyranny increased by 25%. So if you want to take as much land as possible, tyranny is pretty good. Character loyalty reduction from tyranny reduced by 25%. Aggressive expansion decay from offices that reduce aggressive expansion increased by roughly 60% per skill point. So that is, if we go into the government again, that's our Epiproxenos, lowering the amount of aggressive expansion you get, the impact here. That's been increased by a fairly significant amount, 60% per skill point. And that's crazy. And diplomatic reputation now grants negative, 0.03 aggressive expansion decay per point, while not in an offensive war. That's really kind of huge. Diplomatic reputation generally wasn't such an amazing thing you wanted to stack up on. Like, it's one of those things that you could sort of pass up. It was useful for trade, and it was useful for your vassals liking you. But other than that, you could kind of ignore it. I mean, once you got big enough anyway, all of the countries near you would hate you because of your aggressive expansion. So you were generally not going to be doing super much external trade. And your vassals would be relatively loyal anyway, as long as you're, keeping that under control, as you should be. So yeah, having actually a big use now for diplomatic reputation is really quite nice. And I'm sure there are probably some bloodline traits that have aggressive diplomatic reputation. Maybe you do? Did I see that? Yes, it is. Diplomatic reputation from Blood of Lysimachus. So Lysimachus is now a lot more valuable. What do we got for our Argiads? Yeah, well, there you go. Effective ruler, aggressive expansion change, negative 0.01. When at peace, Lysimachus is negative 0.03. So while this accounts for when you are at war or at peace, this counts for all when you're at peace. Yeah, so a little bit of a trade-off. It's an interesting one. Very interesting one. For the economy, income from unused trade routes reduced by 50%. I had no idea that unused trade routes actually gave you money, so that it's reduced is... sure, whatever. Tyranny decay from aristocratic monarchy reduced from 0.1 to 0.05. Fair enough. War and peace. Happiness loss from war exhaustion reduced from negative 2.5 per point to negative 1 per point. So yeah, you're gonna be your pops are gonna be happier. Nice. And you can now take provinces while also making the other nation a subject in a peace deal. This is huge. This is actually kind of huge, and I think it's, from what I've seen, sort of been overlooked. People have been a lot more focused on this, and this has sort of passed them by. This is incredible, right? Because, for example, say you are playing as Macedon and you want to go to war with somebody in Greece. Say this guy here, Pelen. Say Pelen, or say, actually no, Argos is a perfect example because he's got it. Say you want to feudatory Argos. Argos has most of his territories in Arcadia. He's also got one in Achaia. Well, you'd rather not. What if you want all of Achaia? You've got most of it already. You want to make him a feudatory, but you also want to finish off your province. So now you can take Cleonae and vassalize Argos. It also really helps in the way that if you've got a claim on them. Say you want to do the same thing, take Cleonae and vassalize Argos. You fabricate a claim for Cleonae, for Achaia. You take that, you vassalize the rest. This way, you're not going to get that negative 25 loyalty penalty, or the opinion penalty, for having a claim on them. And the thing is, you couldn't really do that before, because sure, you could fabricate a claim on Achaia, you could take that, but you couldn't take him as a feudatory. To take him as a feudatory, you'd have to attack him again. How are you going to attack him again? You've got no claim. So this is actually huge compared to what everyone's thinking. I think this is a massive, massive change. I think it needs to have a little bit more attention placed upon it. For the AI, the army budget has been increased, so the AI will have more armies. AI will be slightly more willing to engage in wars against similarly strong opponents. That'd be nice to see. Big wars versus all the AIs against each other. It's good. Rome will be more aggressive. Good. Diplomatic relations are now properly updated. This fix should also result in improved AI performance in various areas, particularly as regards to targeting, war declarations, and planning. I didn't know that they were not updating, so that's good to see that that's fixed. Epirate matchmakers will no longer attempt to trick the ruler into arranging foreign royal marriages with prisoners or members of their own family. Didn't know that this was a thing that was happening. I guess I was playing as Epirus, so that didn't really affect me. It's an AI thing. Tweak the Greco-Persian City DHE event. I don't know what that stands for, honestly. Dumb Hellenistic event. Yeah, because every time that you've got an E and then an event after it, clearly this must mean event. This letter here it's dumb Hellenistic event. Gotcha. To target specific cultures' happenings instead of all other cultures. That's interesting, actually. That's the one where you've got the event comes up, Greco-Persian city. There's a city here with Persian culture, and you're Greek, and there's a mixing pot, and you can choose to make the all cultures happier, or have I think there's a malice, and have choose the other one anyway. But now it's only going to apply to a specific culture rather than all cultures. So that is a bit of a nerf to that event, but it's okay. Suppression of the Massilia event will no longer fire for subjects and allies of Carthage or enemies of Massilia. Legitimizing a bastard that's also in the royal family will now make them only lose 10 loyalty instead of 20 in the event discreditable dalliance. The Cult of Achilles task for Epirus will now rename Ilion to Achillean. Alright. I haven't got to that yet in my my Epirus campaign, so I'm glad, because I feel like if I was to have done this already, that would not be the case. This would not change. Master of Magna Graecia, optional task in Hegemon of Magna Graecia. Syracusan mission tree no longer requires Sicilian or Maltan territories. Alright. Reduce the price of granary and prospecting in generic infrastructure missions. Fix the Italian leadership Epirate task, sometimes creating non-Hellenistic subjects and thus blocking mission progress. Didn't actually have that happen, thankfully. Army Uniformable uses the new Anatolian culture group instead of Persian. Good. See, that fix is nice. Siculia now no longer begins as an integrated culture of Syracuse. Why not? Maybe it should. I don't know. Fixed city of Hetria producing grain with their innovative wheat field public housing urban hybrid experiment. I saw a post on Reddit about that one, which is pretty funny. It's like, oh, there's a city here that it's got grain. It's producing grain. No longer. Philippus IV, Antipatrid wrongly having the regnal number 6th. Didn't know we even noticed that. Illyrian culture group not using Hellenic emblem sets after the group was split. Alien citizens now moderately chuffed about Olympic Games rather than frighteningly ecstatic. Heritage happiness modifier reduced from 60% to 8. Fucking hell. That's crazy. That is crazy. Fucking hell. Okay, fair enough. Subunits are now probably shown again when selecting multiple armies. That's fantastic. That was the bug where if you had multiple armies and you click both of these, instead of seeing your unit, you'd see like a shit ton of white boxes, and it was completely unusable to do it that way. You could still merge them and stuff, so it wasn't a massive deal. Fixed crash in the mission view related to mouse movement. Fixed a weird issue which made you crucify your own people if you won a civil war, where the opposing leader was at sea at the time of annexation, during an eclipse on a Tuesday in the Bermuda Triangle, naturally. Claims should now work properly even if the province capital is moved after they were made. I didn't even know that that was a thing that bugged out. I did not know that. Various stability fixes, always nice to see. Desire pop ratio potentially being negative. Didn't know that that was a thing either. Party type trigger no longer erroneously checks if character is the party leader. Pop type output tooltips should now yield more concise entries. A reduction from claims now shows. Good. A increase for non-targets now applies, and a number of those values have been exposed as defines. I wonder if that is for modders as well to fix things. Improve relation is now broken upon entering a war. I didn't know you could do it while at war, or continue doing it while at war. That's interesting. It's now possible to cycle through different barbarian hordes in the same province. Mercenaries in your own country are no longer restricted by diplomatic range. I still have my same problem with mercenaries. I don't like them very much. So check my mercenary rework video if you're interested in that. Original thinker and other character traits add siege ability now properly apply to sieges. Wow, I did not know that it wasn't doing that. That's rough. Removed old hidden AE cost on declaring wars. Yeah, I only figured out that you actually gained aggressive expansion on declaring wars quite a while ago. I noticed it during a dev diary video, and I had to go and check. And I had no idea, absolutely none. It was only like 1 AE, but now that's gone, I guess. So yay. UI commander change button is now disabled for governor units. Alliance now properly removes independence guarantees. Co-rulers start with 50 popularity at the start of the game. Auto join also available for public multiplayer. White piece message third parties now shows the correct herald. Fixed edge case with civil wars that would instantly end and not handle the resolution properly. Number of issues with forced peace. Enable combat enhancements. Non-damage ships would be preferred over damage ships for fighting when the battle begins. It's good. Power base can no longer be negative. Units assigned to governor no longer embark upon ships. Civil war checked emissions to stop revolt tags from selecting them. Interesting. Issues with party agendas in multiplayer. Apollo Actiakos task subtracting cost twice. Okay. I think I've done that, so I wonder if that has been a problem. I have to go and check my video. Macedonian lessons, scope, issues, and duplicate event. Number of literally unplayable typos. Filth. Absolute filth. I mean, there's still plenty of literally unplayable typos, but I'm very much of the opinion that any kind of alternative American spelling is a typo, so whatever. Isolated provinces being calculated properly now. Thank you. That was a problem in my Epirus campaign. Syracuse mission event tooltip. Victor Troyes' father. The name rings a bell, but I can't remember who you are. Number of minor issues in party agendas. Fixed children being selected for trial duty, even though it's true you can't start teaching them civic virtues too early. Fixed free investments belaying their name and still costing gold. Fixed holy site description wrongly mentioning an effect on local conversion speed. Fixed issues with the ping event from Magus and improved Ariathes ping event. Magus is the Egyptian guy, I believe, that goes to Cyrenaica. Removed country trigger from Siciliate succors. Reintroduced remove triggers for Sicilian champion and added bypass to it if no Siciliote nations exist in Sicily. Cooldown to effects of the X-Clan family event to stop stability centralization exploits. That is the one where you could basically spam yourself some stability by constantly going down into a lower level of nation, you know, going from a local power to a regional power and then back again, and you can just keep doing that constantly and just spamming out as much stability as you want, which is interesting. Also, you get centralization as well for it. It was Cheese, who you may know from some of my multiplayer games, that told me about that. I don't know if he found it, but he's the one that told me about it. Children and prisoners will no longer be brought to hold forth on foreign policy in Republic's war councils, although we're sure they have very interesting opinions, naturally. Description of social mobility, governor policy ignoring nobles, misleading modifiers in subject task of Pan-Hellenic government mission, fixed overflowing and nonsensical opinion text in Republic and Monarchy War Council interaction events. Mercenary arms will no longer invoice you for their leader's ransom via a mutiny. Republic War Council event now subtract party approval from ignored advisors rather than add to it. Countries will always have a primary culture entry in your cultures list in the culture tab. It also fixes a crash for nations that have no pops of their primary culture. Yeah, that would be rough if you had no pops of your primary culture anymore. I'm sure, yeah, it's definitely possible for that to happen, but it's just interesting. Fixed pop type culture happiness not applying properly. New city Epirat mission tasks sometimes upgrading the wrong territory. There we go. That happened to me. That happened to me. I knew it. I fucking knew it. It wasn't It wasn't a bug. I tried to upgrade. I believe it was Phoeniki, and it instead did Orikos. I think it doesn't change much, but I'm fairly sure that was what happened. Or maybe it was like I was trying to upgrade Cassiope, and it did Orikos instead. Something like that. I don't remember. It was a while ago that I recorded it. But yeah, that happened to me. Improved tooltip of construct border forts ability. Fixed Roman colonnade becoming cities almost immediately. Yeah, I thought they fixed that to make it take like a year or something, go over time. AI rulers can no longer escape loneliness by befriending themselves. We try though. We try. Fixed state modifiers not being applied at the end of the last of the Sikaloi Epirat mission task, and then fixed revoke city status but not applying a negative happiness modifier. Alright, so my thoughts on the bug fixes. Definitely there is some really good stuff in here. All of the stability stuff, it's good to see that. This entire area is going to affect the game quite a heavy amount. This I am very much in favor of as well. This doesn't really affect too much. I don't generally take too much war exhaustion anyway. It's fine. It's just fine. Making the AI more aggressive, it's good. Bug fixes are always nice to see. It's just, yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. So hopefully this will affect your games in a big way and make them a lot more fun to play. Fixed an error in the patch notes, increased AA decay from tyranny by 25%. Okay, I think I got that already. A plan to fix the shortages of women mid-game, specifically in Republics. In Republics, I don't know if you had the ability to do it. Yeah, you can't start that scheme yourself. Get married scheme. Other characters will still use it just as they do in all non-Republics. So the AI can use that scheme, but the player can't. That's interesting. Okay, fair enough. Didn't know that. Just refresh the page, and there's some more stuff. Nothing in the fix to AI not building any ships. Yeah. That is another thing that we've noticed on my comment section have noticed, at least. It's a non-trivial thing to hunt down. It's something we're looking at, but incidental changes to AI economy and planning have affected this positively in 1.5.2, though it does not entirely fix it. We're monitoring it. Okay, so it's a bug that they're aware of, but they're hunting down the reason for it happening. Just for clarity, it's things like Carthage here. They only start now with 39 ships, and once they lose them, they very rarely build them again. They'll just stay with having no fucking ships. So you generally end up being the dominant naval power of the world much easier than you have any right to be. So it's good to have that. It will be good to have that fixed. It's just not there yet. But anyway, that is the patch notes for today. Let me know what you think about them. Let me know if you have any changes that you wish were made, any bugs that you've experienced that aren't covered by this. Let me know in the comment section below. If you want to support me, that's the best way to do it, as well as, clicking the like button. Also have a Patreon page if you would like to support me there. There's a link in the description. There's also a sale going on for the Paradox store, and it's a link to my affiliate link there. You can get a bunch of the Imperator DLCs, I believe, for a little bit of a discount. Sure, there it is. Get the deluxe edition upgrade pack and get the complete soundtrack. It's the game's also half price, which is it's decent. So yeah, I will leave this off here. So thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.